Hi everyone, this will be the fourth round game um, of this tournament, but first about the third round I was quite wrong about something. So here, knight d5, I said queen b7 was the only move, but in fact it loses. The only way I can try to play on is play queen c5 and is it this one? Yeah, so something like this, and after e5 I have knight d5. This is still really good for white. After something like this, but I'm not lost immediately. It's plus 1.9 is not great, but yeah. Now what we both missed, and something like e5 here. Now there are various things that can happen, but just to show you, so knight b7, sorry, queen b7, e5. And let's say I take, and then there's bishop e4, and now you have this kind of stuff with all kinds of nasty threats. And it turns out that after something like this, queen a7 to try to still protect the rook. He could attack my queen again, queen c5, and now at least this, and now this is a clean rook for him. So not a great position, and of course maybe I have some kind of a dream to attack here, but it's just not realistic. So it's just a whole rook. So this was first of all that game. Now let's go to my other game. I played, so this was the same day actually. So I won in the morning, and then in the evening I played this game. So I was on 2.5 out of, sorry, 2 out of 3, which is quite nice. It's a plus 1. Plus 1 just means I won one more game than I lost. Draws don't count. And I played against some dude. He was from Luxembourg, a bit older than me, and his rating was 2030. But this was not a very long game. I was white, d4, d5, c4, c6. I'm sorry, it's a bit slow today. C6. Knight f3, knight f6. Now, yeah, so the main line would go something like this. Bishop f5, and you have quite a normal development with e6, bishop b4, castles, and eventually something like queen b, knight b5 and e5 or something, or c5, so black always gets some play. And I didn't play this, I played queen c2, which is an interesting sideline. Now the idea is also that I'm protecting c4, so I don't need to play any a4 or anything like that, so I don't need to do that, which is weakening. But the main line is something with d takes c, queen c4, bishop f5, and so on. And it's not particularly good for white or anything, but it's still a very playable option. And then I play with g3 and bishop g2 and castles, and hope to play along this diagonal. It's an interesting game. You have also options like e6, which my opponent played. So he didn't want to go too much into details. He just played e6. Didn't want to complicate things. And this was actually the game. G3, bishop E7. He's playing in a very modest fashion here. Maybe D7. Castles, castles. But yeah, so basically here I have a very simple plan. And that plan is, yeah, just E4. And his whole position is a bit cramped. Queen takes, bishop B7, rook D1. So I have some kind of ideas here against the queen, or maybe D5, maybe C5. C5 especially, like this can fix these pawns on C6 and B5 or something, and kind of keep his bishop out of the position. It's kind of a typical idea. Knight F6, so Queen C2. Queen C7, and now here I had a lot of very active position, active possibilities. The computer in general just thinks that I'm better. It's again, as mentioned, quite slow, but yeah, it's something about like this. And now I have various ideas like knight d5 and queen f4 or bishop f4 or something. I did play bishop f4. It is kind of the logical way. And I just decided to play in a very simple fashion here. Takes, knight e5. It's kind of a dynamic way of playing, kind of looking at c6, looking at the queen, looking at maybe d5, but yeah, in the end, so he played this, and now I thought, okay, but I have queen a4 here, and now I have another attack on the c6 pawn. I thought maybe, yeah, indeed, what the computer is saying, that maybe the rook needs to protect or something. Obviously d4 is not hanging because he needs to take with the queen first. Overall, I'm just like obviously better here. On the other hand, I was playing with a 2030, so I just thought, yeah, you know what? This is gonna offer a draw here with white in a better position because maybe he just takes it. And if he doesn't take it, of course I'm happy to play this position, but if we don't make a draw here, I was just really afraid that I would mess this up, because this is the kind of position that looks very comfortable, and you know, like and black, you can say black doesn't have a plan and things like this, but on the other hand, I'm also good at messing these positions up. So if I miscalculate something, then it's definitely not great. So now he actually, yeah, he took the draw. So this is just a quick draw. But b5, he said he was thinking of b5. But if I so he thought that this position, if he of course, the bishop is hanging, but my queen is also attacked, so I need to take the pawn. He thought that this is actually quite interesting for him. Like he has a decent counterplay, something like this, and the computer agrees with him. Maybe not the exact position. Wait, the other rook. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. So something like this, and black has some activity and some compensation for sure for the pawn. Maybe it's not enough, but it's so it's the same evaluation as before, but without the pawn. So that just means that the pawn sacrifice is at least justified. Yeah. Anyway, so this was one of his ideas, but what he said was that I just don't take, and then actually the computer is 100% on board with this. Just don't take the pawn, and now he just lashed out for no good reason. So I can just pressure his whole position with my rooks. So something like this, and if he doesn't play b5, then it's not obvious what he needs to play. So of course, this rook here doesn't work because I can take the pawn. So I thought he would just protect it with the other rook, and then I thought it's a nice position, but how do I play on? Of course I still have a rook. I think rook ac1 is one of the good ways of playing. Rook d2 also, you know. Rook d3, rook d2. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some ways of advancing, but on the other hand, I was just afraid, so I thought, come on, I'm still on +1. Of course, maybe the next game will be harder, and it was a lot harder. Spoiler alert. I thought it's a draw against a 2000 player, so let's just take it. And he said that, yeah, he and a few other people said, oh, but you play so much better than your elo, what's going on? And he was just afraid to play on, and he said that there is not enough area in the room, which is definitely partly true. So yeah, this was the game. He was a bit too passive, and then I got a very active, very pretty position, which is quite nice. Like, I do also try, or I intend to play the Catalan. I didn't actually get there, but this is in a way transposition to the Catalan, right? So yeah, this could be a Catalan if black just plays these moves. Then it would be just a Catalan, because this is a typical way of developing for white, queen c2. So yeah, it was an interesting game, maybe a bit wimpish from me, but if you thought this was a bit wimpish, then you'll be in for a treat. Because there were a few more quite wimpish games as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and at least this was a quick one also to analyze. See you around.